Chapter 1. What is a livestock protection dog? In Old World countries where livestock protection dogs have been traditionally used, lifestyles and farming practices are different than those we know in North America. Throughout Asia, the Middle East, and the Mediterranean basin, full-time shepherds are common. Sheep owners in a village often form communal flocks of sheep during the summer months when high country pastures can be used for grazing. Shepherds and livestock protection dogs accompany large bands of sheep to mountain meadows. During these times, when many protection dogs are present, older dogs help to discipline and train younger ones. With one or more shepherds always on duty, undesirable behaviors can be spotted and corrected immediately. In this setting, many stimuli act on a protection dog, including social interactions with other dogs. Boredom is unlikely to occur. If attacked or threatened by a predator, a protection dog can reasonably expect to be backed up by his fellow pack members. He can also expect that a shepherd will be somewhere nearby, if not always in sight. In all, a rather non-mechanized, leisurely environment exists in which protection dogs coexist with humans and livestock to their collective benefit. Most North American farms would not fit into the previously described scenario. Farms here have fenced pastures in lieu of open mountain rangelands. Livestock are moved abruptly from pasture to pasture, sometimes by truck. There are few full-time shepherds, goat herders, or cattle tenders. Protection dogs are often required to work alone, without aid or training from an experienced pack of peer dogs. Many protection dogs are initially placed with livestock that have learned to fear dogs. A significant part of the task of protection is having the confidence of the animals to be guarded. North American guard dogs may be expected to develop their self-confidence with livestock that will run away from them or even show hostility. After a protection dog has gained the confidence of the flock or herd and has matured into a successful guardian, he is almost always left alone to perform what can be a very boring duty. When such factors are considered, you may wonder why protection dogs transplanted from the tranquil mountains of Europe and Asia are able to work at all in the United States and Canada. Yet they do. The reason for their success is not so much the training techniques that are described in the succeeding chapters, but rather the highly evolved instincts of the dogs. If you have purchased a healthy protection breed puppy with an established guarding pedigree, he will probably become a good livestock guardian, in spite of any errors you, the owner-trainer, might commit. In fact, you will never actually train your protection dog to protect. You will instead attempt to create an environment in which the dog is able to develop and express his inherited talents. What does a good livestock protection dog do? A mature, confident livestock protection dog is rarely out of sight or hearing of his flock. Sheep and flock will be used frequently in this text because most listeners will be interested in the use of protection dogs for sheep operations. However, these words are not used to exclude other livestock. Protection dogs perform very well in defense of cattle, goats, horses, poultry, equipment, and even human families. The protection dog is a calm animal that moves slowly to avoid disturbing the livestock. We have observed protection dogs walk carefully around rather than near or between ewes with newborn lambs, as if to avoid interfering with the lamb-ewe bonding. They appear to sense a different attitude from these ewes, who change their behavior when they have newborn lambs near them. A good protection dog possesses better than average senses of hearing, sight, and smell. He will often become curious and defensive whenever something out of the ordinary occurs. The following example illustrates some of these traits. When we were living in Oregon during the winter months, a neighbor regularly filled a hay manger for his cattle at around 6 a.m. His manger was near the edge of two of our fields where we kept sheep and protection dogs. The dogs watched him arrive and perform his chores. Occasionally they barked, but usually they just watched and his activities became part of their regular routine. One day the neighbor sent a hired hand in his place. The assistant performed the chores in a different manner and had a distinctive voice. His mannerisms made the cattle nervous and upset the routine for our dogs. The protection dogs in the fields did nothing more than bark during this incident. However,